My name is Tom Bell, and I'm from Weaverville. Uh, Retired Air Force, 26 years. I was a special operations aviator, flew MC-130s. I participated in such operations as Operation Just Cause, Desert Shield, Desert Storm, Uphold Democracy, Allied Force. Worked that and then came back and taught junior ROTC here in Buncombe County for 14 years. I just retired from that, and I'm looking for my third active right now. Uh, and I'm going to share a story of one of those experiences during my active duty time. So, the temperature again hit triple digits in the desert. I was in my second month deployed to King Fahd Airfield, Saudi Arabia, a special operations squadron. Days blended together and life essentially boiled down to training, eating, and sleeping, with occasional Scud missile warnings to break up the monotony. Today was different. As we sat down to eat our MREs and debated how long we would be in country, a fellow squadron member interrupted us, waving a hat he had just received from the Cleveland Browns. While I had an initial pang of jealousy, I was inspired to write to my own favorite team. I hurried back to my bunk and wrote a letter to Wellington Mara, the owner of my beloved football team, the New York Giants. I told him of being a diehard fan, going to games with my dad throughout my life since I was 6 years old. I described my excitement entering the stadium for the first time, holding tight to my dad's hand and seeing the larger-than-life players warming up on the field. I detailed sitting in the stands, whether in the broiling sun or braving an ice storm. The Giants were always a part of my life, and the successes and failures of my team formed a deep connection, especially after I entered the military. I went on to express that I would be following the team from afar this year and wished them the best of luck. I stuffed the letter in an envelope, licked it closed, grateful no stamp was needed, and sent it on its way. Days, weeks, months passed, and I forgot about the letter as we trained for combat operations. One night after returning from a training flight, I saw a package addressed to Captain Tom Bell with an East Rutherford, New Jersey return address. But what really caught my attention was the blue helmet logo of the New York Giants emblazoned on the wrapping. I tore it open like a kid at Christmas, and what I saw next caught my breath. There on the table was an official NFL football with the logo of the New York Giants, along with autographs of every player on the team. As I traced my fingers over the signatures of Mark Bavaro, Phil Simms, and Lawrence Taylor, I was overwhelmed with emotion. I thought of my dad and playing catch in the backyard as we talked about life and sports. I reflected on those times together and the bond it forged between us that I cherished and wished I could see him again. From that day forward, while deployed, I would every morning cradle the football in my arms as a good luck charm and do the same before bed. As time passed, we wondered if a peace agreement would ever happen and distracted ourselves by attending the Bob Hope Christmas show, playing cards, watching videos, and reading any servicemen letters left in our common area. However, to me, the football was my connection to home and family, and its leather scent brought my worries and any anxieties back under control. Even more amazing, the Giants were winning games week after week that year. I would sit outside my trailer as blowing sand dust coated my face, listening to Armed Forces Network radio for any scores or updates on the Giants. The radio also gave other news. On January 17, 1991, Desert Shield transformed overnight to Desert Storm, and we were flying in combat. 10 days later, the Giants shockingly made it to the Super Bowl. Our commanders informed us that the game would be broadcast here only if we were willing to carry along our chem gear and mask in case of attack. This did not deter me from going. As I found a seat inside the dusty, humid tent, I got to watch the names of my football come to life. All of us there enjoyed a tense and competitive game, and I cheered and hollered as the Buffalo Bills barely missed a game-ending field goal and the Giants were Super Bowl champions. Beaming with pride as I walked back to my trailer celebrating the Giants' victory, I would soon need to shift my focus back to why we were there in the first place. But for a brief moment, I was back in the stands with my dad, rooting on our team to victory. When I finally got back to my room that night and before getting into bed, I held the football tight in my arms and believed everything to come would be okay.